Having 0 testimonials can stop you from getting hired as a virtual assistant. And I know if you are a beginner, you haven't worked for anyone, how can you get testimonials? And that is why today I'm going to show you how you can get testimonials as a complete beginner to virtual assistants with 0 previous experience. Having testimonials is really very important, because one of the things that is going to stop you from getting hired is if you send a proposal to potential client, the potential client check your Upwork account or your portfolio and there isn't any testimonials, then they are going to feel uncomfortable with trusting the quality of work that you can deliver. But if you have good testimonials, that is going to help ease their fears. If you have done something for someone, then it means you at least know something about what you are talking about. And that is why today I'm going to show you how you can get testimonials on Upwork, and also how you can get testimonials outside of Upwork, so that you can get started even if you haven't ever worked for anyone. Sending proposals, getting your first job is going to be a lot easier. And the very first thing we are going to do is, as a beginner, you should create your account on Upwork. Upwork is one of the best. So if you have your Upwork account, the first thing that you need to do is make sure your Upwork account is complete 100%. If your Upwork account is completed 100%, then in order to get testimonials, you don't really have to work on Upwork in order to get testimonials on Upwork. Upwork has a feature where you can request testimonial from someone who is outside of Upwork, and you can request their testimonial, and if Upwork verify the testimonial, verify that that person that you request their testimonial, they have a business, then they can approve your testimonial and it can show on your Upwork profile, even if you never work on Upwork. And all you need to do is simply think of someone that you know who has a business. If you know anyone who has a business, then that's really just all you need in order to get started. Whether you work for them or not, if you work for them, great, even easier. But if you have never worked for them, if you know them personally and you know they have some kind of business, or even if they are holding a position in a company, some high position, just send them a message and ask them to give you a character testimonial, not a job testimonial. If they know you, they can give a testimonial about you being honest. They can give a testimonial about you being trustworthy. So if they know you personally, they can give you character testimonial. So even if you have never worked on Upwork, you can just go to your Upwork profile, scroll down to the testimonial section, and you can request a testimonial. Just make sure they have a LinkedIn account that looks professional, because when you request their testimonial, Upwork are going to use their LinkedIn account to verify whether they have a real business or not. So this is the first method that you can follow in order to get testimonials on your Upwork account, even if you have never worked on Upwork. The second method is even more important, and with this method you can get testimonials both on Upwork and outside of Upwork, testimonials that you can have on your portfolio, verified testimonials. And if you do this right, you can even end up getting video testimonials. And if you end up getting a video testimonial, it is really, really going to increase your chances of getting hired. And how this works is, you need to find someone and offer your services to them for free in exchange of a testimonial. I know you hear this multiple times, but if you do it the way most people do, you are probably not going to get even the free work. So the way to do it right is, you contact people who are more likely to accept your free work offer, and make sure you counter any objection that they have. Because when I receive this kind of messages, a lot of the times people will send me emails or message asking to do work for me for free, and there is some issues with accepting that, and that is why I never accept free work in exchange of testimonial. And most people who you are going to contact also, they have that kind of fear, and that is why if you send just messages and emails asking to offer your services for free, most people are not going to respond. But if you do it right, you are going to increase your chances of getting hired to do free work in exchange of a testimonial, whether a written testimonial or a video testimonial. And the main thing that you need to keep in mind is, if you want to get a response, you have to overcome people's objection when you are sending them your offer. One of the fears that most people have is, you don't know what you are talking about. Many people send me an email and ask me to provide their work for free in exchange of a testimonial, things like that. And most people who you are going to contact, they are going to be afraid that you probably don't know what you are doing, so they don't want to waste their time chatting with you, giving you work, and you just give them something that they are not going to end up using. And how can you overcome this objection? You can overcome this objection by proving to them you know what you are talking about, you know what you are doing. If you are offering to do data entry work for them, like free data entry work for them, make sure in your initial message to them, you include a sample of a data entry file that you created. If you have never created any work sample, then you shouldn't start sending emails or messages until you created some work samples. I have many videos on creating work samples for data entry. So depending on the services you are offering to clients, make sure you create samples first. And if you send your message, the initial message include a work sample. Just mention it. This is a sample of work that I previously did, or this is a sample of work that I created. So that if they are afraid you don't know what you are talking about, if they take a look at the sample that you did, they are going to understand, yes, you know what you are talking about. The next fear that people have is they have to give you access to their business tools. And if you are only going to do some temporary work for them, then it will be a lot of work for them to share access to their tools, maybe their project management tools or their social media access, things like that. And in order to overcome this objection, make sure the service you are offering to people doesn't require them to give you any type of access. If you are offering data entry services, then they don't need to give you any type of access. All you need is probably going to be either Microsoft Excel or Google Sheet. So they don't have fear of sharing any access to you. But if you are offering to do social media management for them, they have to share their social media account access with you. And that can be a problem. But if you are offering to do social media graphic design for them, they don't need to share any access with you. So whatever service you are offering to do for them for free, make sure it doesn't require them to give you any access to any tool that they are using. And the next objection that you are going to have to overcome is they are going to feel a little pressure that maybe if they hire you, if they accept your pre-work offer, after you finish the pre-work, you are going to expect them to give you a job. Many people do that. When people want to offer a free work, they offer the pre-work with the intention that when they finish the pre-work, if you like it, you are going to give them a job. And you need to overcome this objection. And you can do this simply in your initial message that you send to them. Make sure you make it clear. There is no pressure. You are not expecting them to give you a job after you finish the pre-work for them. All you need is their testimonial. If you make it clear, then you simply overcome that objection. So if you want to increase your chances of getting accepted, you have to make sure you overcome these 3 objections. Make sure you doesn't require any access to any tool or any account they use. Make sure you prove to them that you know what you are doing. You are not just going to waste their time, and make sure you put them at ease, making them sure that there is no pressure. They don't have to hire you after you finish the pre-work for them. This is first. If you did not overcome these 3 objections, you are not going to get accepted. And the next thing that you want to do in order to make sure you increase your chances of getting accepted is be very specific and direct. I received an email just a few days ago. The email, I think it can be at least a full A4 if I print it out. It's just way too long. As soon as I just open the email, I just feel, this is going to take some time to read. And if people feel that way, if they open your email, they are probably going to not read it. Even if I said, okay, I'll read this later, I'm just going to keep putting it up for later, and I will end up not reading it. So make your message or your email specific and direct. You don't need to go into long details of how you found them, of how, all your experience and everything. Just include what needs to be included. Make it sweet, straight to the point. You can use AI to help you make it direct. If you write a long email, you can just take it, go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to make it more easy to read and easy to understand. That is going to make the chances of your emails getting read very high. The next thing is target the right people. It doesn't matter if you do the right things. It doesn't matter how many right things you did. If you target the wrong people, you are not going to get a response. A good example is if you just get started today and you want to start offering pre-work and you target Grant Cardone, you are obviously, most definitely not going to get a response. So target the right type of people. The best type of people I believe to target is either virtual assistant who have a lot of experience, or virtual assistant who have an agency. They already have other virtual assistants working for them, or very small business owners. Someone who have like a growing YouTube channel, they have maybe e-commerce business linked to their YouTube channel. They are just getting started with their business. They are not too big and they are not too small. If they are too small, their testimonial people are not going to take it too seriously. But if they are too big, then they are probably not going to respond. So make sure you target the right people. And the next thing that is going to make this whole process a lot easier is if you have a good network, if you build up your network, whether on LinkedIn or any social media network. If you have a good network, it will be easier for you to find the right people who are going to accept your offer of a pre-work in exchange of a testimonial. And if you don't know much about building your network as a virtual assistant, you can watch this next video. If you find this video helpful, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe. I will see you in the next one.